Oh boy. Here we go, folks. I just saw this movie, guys. I just saw this a few days ago. Anyways, hey guys, Tazart here. Here's my review or rant on I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025. I Know What You Did Last Summer is a legacy sequel to not the 1997 movie, but it's a sequel to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and this is directed by Jennifer Caden Robinson. The plot of this movie is that we follow five group of friends who celebrate the 4th of July. They decided to go and watch fireworks. But as a result of one particular friend being stupid, someone passing by and it causes a deadly car accident and it results in their death. 1 year later, the past comes back to haunt them as they learn I Know What You Did Last Summer. Stalked by a mysterious killer, they soon seek help from two survivors of the Southport Massacre of 1997. Yeah, guys, I was not looking forward to this movie. I saw the trailers several months ago, and this movie looked generic. It looked like a cash grab, and it looked like a legacy sequel that is just unnecessary. The original I Know What You Did Last Summer was a very enjoyable 90s horror film. I watched that movie recently on Netflix, and I had enjoyment throughout the film. I'm not saying it's a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a fun, entertaining 90s horror film. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, which is a sequel to the first film, and it came out in 1998. It was one of the worst horror sequels ever made, and one of the worst sequels ever made. But my god, that movie made me laugh in some scenes just because how bad this movie is. So after I watched both of these movies on Netflix, I finally saw this movie on Netflix. And what do I think of it? Well, here it goes. And now for my sense of thoughts of this freaking piece of crap, guys. Well, okay. Here it is. And now for my sense of thoughts on this freaking piece of crap. Guys, I didn't see very many bad movies from last year. It's been a while since I did a rant on movies, but here it is. This movie sucks. I mean, it freaking sucks. I'm not making this up, guys. Excuse me. I Know What You Did Last Summer, 2025, is one of the most egregious pieces of crap movies I have ever seen. This is one of the worst horror movies I have ever seen. It's also one of the worst legacy sequels ever, and one of the worst movies I have ever seen from last year. In my opinion, this is even worse than I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and that's saying a lot. This is one of the most boring, pathetic, idiotic, cynical, soulless, and downright disgraceful movies I have ever seen in my life. I try to find something positive about this movie, but I cannot find anything redeeming about this movie. Look, I know most of the actors are trying their best, but their talents were horribly wasted due how badly written the characters were. The story was a cliche and sloppy mess, especially when it completely rehashed of the first film. The direction was absolutely awful, where there are some passion to it, but it doesn't save it due to how badly direction felt. And this is the same person that wrote Thor: Love and Thunder, and she wrote and directed this movie. Nothing against the person, but I don't think she did a good job writing and directing this film. In fact, both of them was so badly done. The screenplay, like the freaking screenplay, is one of the worst of 2025. You want to know why? 2 reasons. Number 1, you don't give a crap about any of these characters in this movie since all of them are either unlikable or complete idiots. One of my biggest criticisms I have for horror movies is when characters make dumb make dumb decisions for the sake of writing. And especially when Teddy goes in front of the fisherman, and let me tell you, the fisherman is right in front of you. Also, the second reason and the final reason, the amount of expositions this movie provided. I hate it when they do that in every single movies when you have to have forced nostalgia. It's embarrassing. The acting was absolutely god awful. Chase Wonders tries her best throughout the film. She tries her best, but she felt horribly wasted as Ava. The actor who played Teddy is easily the worst thing about the film. Nothing against the actor, but his acting in this character is obnoxious and unlikable throughout the film. What's also absolute worse, they completely wasted Jennifer Love Hewitt as Julie, and especially Freddie Prinze Jr. as Ray Bronson, who's one of the main characters in the original. Which I will get to in a minute because it might contain spoilers. Also, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Brandy Norwood from the first two films to show their cameos. And believe it or not, guys, they're only there just for the sake of nostalgia. For the love of God, stop with those nostalgia bullcrap. Stop! It's 2025, even though we're in 2026 now, but still, that was done a long time ago. Those are the reasons why the acting was so bad in this movie. Oh, God. Okay. The soundtrack was completely wasted. It was absolute horrendous. The editing and pacing were all over the place. This movie is even this movie is near 2 hours, and it felt like it was going on for 3 freaking hours long. The original is only around 90 to 100 minutes, and it's very short. Same goes with the sequel. And this is the longest one in the franchise. It doesn't need to be this long. My God. The cinematography was wasted. The dialogue was absolute cringe. And also, knowing this is a horror slasher film, is this movie scary? No. I don't think it is. Not really. Instead of having real tension and suspense, they are relying on this, and this is another big criticism. Jump scare. The jump scares. Doing jump scare. My God. The jump scare, my God. The jump scares in this movie is using that just for the sake of it. And also, what's worse, the false alarm jump scares. Oh my God. How many freaking times have we experienced these freaking jump scares, guys? This is not scary. This crap needs to stop. If you're going to use jump scares, you need to build real suspense and real tension. Also, this may be a hot take, but I was not scared by the fisherman. Not even the original. Sorry, guys. He looks scary, but I've seen something that's a lot more scarier. But that's just me. Excuse me. It's also have so many cliches that you've seen in other films before, the characters making dumb decisions for the sake of the plot and jump scares, yeah, I already mentioned that. And we finally get to the one that I told you that this is one of the worst legacy sequels, one of the worst horror movies from last year, and one of the worst movies I have ever seen from last year. And here it is. The ending. Let me tell you guys, this is one of the worst endings I've ever seen in the movie. And not only that, but the worst third act, and there is, believe it or not, the freaking mid-credit scene. This whole thing, you know what? I'm gonna have to spoil the whole thing right now. I don't care. Do you guys like care? Like, do you guys care? No? Good. Because who cares about spoilers? No one should see this movie. Yeah, like no one should see this movie at all. Like no one should see it. If some of you guys don't want to be spoiled by this movie, stop watching the video and pause for 1 minute or 2 or 3 minutes. Skip it until we get to the end. All right, so here it goes. Spoiler warning. So in the third act, when the main characters get into the boat, sailing away from the town, believe it or not, the fisherman is Stevie, played by Sarah Pigeon, and the fisherman is a female. Which honestly makes no sense whatsoever. But wait, there's more! Oh yeah, there's more, ladies and gentlemen. Because later on the movie reveals one big twist to who was responsible for the setting the whole thing up. And are you ready for this? Are you ready to hear who it is? Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character Ray. He was the killer. Yeah, you heard that right. Let me say it one more time. Ray, played by Freddie Prinze Jr. from the first two movies, was the killer. And this is a character, you know, he risked his life from the first two films to save Julie. And here he is now the killer in the movie. The reason for him feeling sorry for Stevie is that she wants to take revenge on everybody, and which honestly makes no freaking sense, and it completely destroyed Ray as a character. The ending. Oh boy, here we go. When Ava and Danica arrive outside in their gowns, they are in the hospital to get some shrimp. All of a sudden, the movie goes into a full syncope tease by having one of them say, "Oh my God, did you hear that Stevie's a lie?" Also, you know what's funny? None of this would have happened if men just went to therapy. Speaking of syncope endings, the mid-credit scene. Yep, the mid-credit scene is where Julie receives a note and says, "It isn't over." And she meets Carla Wilson, played by Brandy Norwood, from I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, one of the worst horror sequels ever made. And she's back now, and she asks for help to find the stalker.
Afraid to look ugliness in the face? Well, here! Look at it! It's ugly, isn't it? You look at it!
Hello.
You look at it!
Hi.
Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! I want all of you to look at it!
Hang on. Sorry, these Wi-Fi is just absolute bullcrap. Alright, here we go. Hang on.
You maniac! You banged it up! Darn you! Darn you all to heck! Can we go to the fun side now?
One more time, guys. One more time.
You know what? You're a fucking joke. No wonder the Avengers didn't take you, or the X-Men, and they'll take fucking anyone. I mean, you are a ridiculous, immature, half-wit moron. I have never met a sadder, more attention-starved, jabbering little prick in my entire life, and that says a lot, because I've been alive for more than 200 fucking years. I'll tell you, that bald chick was right about one thing. You will never save the world. You couldn't even save a relationship with a goddamn stripper. And motherfucker, I wish I could say you die alone. But it's one of God's best jokes that you can't die, except that's on all of us. You got nothing to say, mouth?
Alright, that's done. Oh my god. This movie! Ah! Before I give my overall rating for this movie, the third act, the ending, and the mid-credit scene made absolutely no sense. That third act, especially that twist when you're telling me that Ray from the first two movies, that was one of the main characters, and he is the killer in this movie? Like, it doesn't make any freaking sense. And it's a complete slap in the face that people who really enjoyed the original. Like, my god. Like, screw this third act. My god. Like, what the heck? What the hell? Also, the ending where the two girls were hanging out outside the hospital and they said some of the dumbest lines I've ever heard all year. And what they said is one of the most idiotic and pathetic things I've ever heard. Rambling on your thoughts and saying all these dumb crap. Like, you know, the lines they said in the movie, it made no sense to be yet one of those men bad, women good movies, especially when the killer was the woman in the entire film. Like one of the killers. It really makes no sense. And also the mid-credit scene, here's what I have to say. Please, for the love of God, do not make a sequel to this. And you want to know the good thing? You want to know the good news, guys? Judging from the box office. Hang on. Judging from the box office. Let's see. Come on. Okay. Hang on, guys. Yep. Hang on. Yep. Judging for the box office, guys. Yep. Okay, well, it may not be the best thing to say, but yeah. Yeah, judging for the box office for this movie, it only made 64.8 million worldwide. yes, this movie was a flop. Like, it wasn't like one of the biggest flops, but it was still a flop. And yeah, it was a bomb. So yeah, not happening. I could be wrong. Maybe there could be a sequel to this, but still, judging for the box office worldwide, not happening. Oh, God. Overall, I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 is one of the worst legacy sequels I've ever seen. It is one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen, and it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen from last year, and it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It is one of the most cynical, a big slap in the face, idiotic, and a big idiotic mess that adds nothing new to the franchise whatsoever and becomes nothing more than a complete cash grab and a complete waste of time. And its ending was a downright disgrace and a big complete slap in the face to anyone who likes the original film. I'm not gonna act like the original film is a great film, by no means, but it is an entertaining film. And if it was good enough, then it's good enough. And they got those things right. But I could say that this 2025 movie is a big slap in the face to the fans of the original. Also, I'd rather watch I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, even despite that's one of the worst horror sequels of all time, but at least I can laugh at it and see how bad it is. So yeah, guys, do not see this movie, guys. Do not see this movie, guys. If you're a fan of the original, you're gonna hate this movie. So yeah, guys, do not watch this movie. Not even if you're curious to check it out, and if you're curious to see how bad this movie is, it is not worth your time. I might see other films that were worse than this, and it might top it. You never know. We'll see. But right now, I absolutely hated this movie, and it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And here is my overall rating. Here is my rating. Hang on. Okay. Hang on. Okay, so yeah, my overall rating for I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025, it gets a big, fat 0 out of 10. Do not waste your time on this movie, guys. Okay? This movie had no reason for this movie being made, and thank God this movie bombed at the box office. So yeah, guys, do not waste your time on this movie. It is not worth it. Okay? If you're a fan of the horror slasher films and never wanted to see this new movie, it is not worth your time. So yeah, stay clear with this movie, guys. And all I can say is this. Screw this movie! Phew. Alright. I'm all cool off right now. Okay, guys. That's my review and rant on I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025. So yeah, like I said, guys, don't see this movie. It's not worth it. But let me know what do you think of my review. But good news, guys, is that I will return next week for my reviews that I will be talking about. And I hope you guys have a happy new year. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys later. So yeah, but we're going to go back to some good stuff. So, and let me tell you guys, I hope you have a good New Year's. I know New Year's Day was yesterday. Like, you had a nice dinner. Like, I had a really good New Year's Day. But all I can say, guys, I know I already said this. Happy New Year. Have a good day. And I'll see you guys later.